Not my friends. Sorry, is Bard's song up?
No,
No, sad.
we're scaring away some like we didn't know.
All right, so that's a nat 20.
Okay, you
Well, you
confirm the crit. You're able to fly up high enough that these guys don't have cover as you're shooting down.
16.
Is this touch AC or regular AC?
This is regular AC. Plus 1 from above.
Plus
maybe?
1 from above actually hits AC 17, which is their AC, so you crit one.
Damage reduced. Additional effect 1d3 to random ability score. So ability score is
strength.
strength.
Okay.
And they take 3 strength damage.
Cool. Okay, this guy, as you shoot him, he takes 3 strength damage, and is this considered a magical attack?
No, there's no SR for this attack.
What about DR?
It's considered magic,
Mm-hmm.
but SR doesn't apply for these ones.
Okay, so
If I'm using one of the ones where it's touch AC, then the SR applies.
Okay, you harm it like it's a regular, like, fleshy creature.
All right. For 14 points of damage.
Oh, you bloody the thing. It's making this gurgling, whining noise, and it's pointing at the Fae.
I'm gonna move after that because
They're gonna fart on you. They farted on Cog. They'll fart on you next.
Top of the round is Cog.
Okay, Cog's going to move ends.
Okay, if you wanted to wade into the pool, it's like difficult terrain. It's like up to your knees.
So,
Can he balance on the edge like a monk?
He could balance on the edge like a monk. There would be a acrobatics check at the beginning of every round or anytime you move.
okay, so there's 65.
There's probably a DC involved, and you become flat-footed if you screw it up. So
5. That's 2 moves.
Okay, I need a balance check as you're hopping from like the edges and not slooshing through the water. You're like going 5 feet up and along several inch wide, rounded, slick ledges.
Acrobatics?
Yeah.
looking like a cool guy,
Mm-hmm.
Like
Like a boss.
standing it up.
Fuck's boss.
This one that's in the top, like the top layer, just like looks behind you.
Do I get the sneak off?
You are flanking with the Quicksilver Flying Lizard has surprisingly.
I'm not above, am I?
Oh no, you're not. You are on the middle layer.
Okay, cool.
Parallel.
You could reach up and hit him, but he's got cover from you if you want it.
Oh, okay. So that's. I'm not doing this defensively. 6, 6, 7. And this is Bard song's like, oh, put your Bard song on. Fuck. This is fucking Bard.
Fine.
26 and 23s.
Those are 2 hits with its cover.
Okay. So that's 66.
All right, now we get to hear about its DR.
Nope.
Nope.
Slake has a amulet.
I'm not Slake.
I mean, Cog has an amulet.
Cog has an amulet.
21
My
damage.
true amulet.
You don't get sneak. You're not flanking.
I do not get sneak. I thought I was.
No.
supposed to.
It's 5 feet above you, and there's a lip, and you're attacking over the lip.
Oh.
That's okay. You still punch him a bunch.
So so the first 2 of them, then 4 plus 4 is 8 damage.
8 damage. Okay. It's really slimy, but you hit it, and it does not like you. Quicksilver dragon thing is going to 5-foot step to the edge. It's on the little.
5-foot step again.
He needs to make an acrobatics check or a fly check out of this.
So 2 5-foot steps and then a fly.
Yeah, he
To the
can't.
left.
He doesn't. He's not a natural swimmer, so
Can't 5-foot swim in the water.
yeah, he jumps, and he'll get an AOO from this too.
You can do it. Get out of there.
Little silvery guy's got an AC of 20, and they have plus 5 7s to their flanks, so he just got
Chop chop.
tagged a couple more times.
But how are they flanking? I wasn't able to
Because
flank.
they're both of the same layer.
Oh, sure. I get you.
Okay. The thing splooshes down into the next layer, shakes its head and looks up at you. And then I guess at this point it can try to fly. So he's gonna fly around to the top of the statue, which is like 10 feet tall. And sits on.
Just fly to the roof of the buildings.
Fast goes.
He sneezes a couple of times and then kind of like licks a bit of his wound. So he moved and then flew, and then he's looking down at the water mephit.
We should look out. They're very bad. Very bad.
Water
What language
mephits.
is it speaking?
Common?
Common?
Yeah.
Super bad.
It's very bad. It's very bad.
Water imps. Oh, they don't like this guy who's come and messed up their fun. This is gonna swim 5-foot step. They can swim. This guy's gonna swim 5-foot step, and they both concur in Aquan tongues that they should use. One of them should use their acid power. They garble at and gurgle at each other a little bit, and then this guy loses whatever conversation they had, and a green bolt of acid. You get your touch AC with cover because you're down below them.
Is this like a ranged attack?
It is a magical ranged attack.
It's a magical ranged touch attack. So
You
you're-
can only do it with projectiles.
Yeah, so I can't. do this. Okay.
AC 14 touch.
No.
Okay, you just duck and they do not like missing, and they're upset.
These things need to be ended.
Pretty certain the cat is vermin.
We need to end you.
Let's see. Dugan,
We need you first.
you notice at the beginning of the round the damage you did to this one was slowly reknitting. It seemed to be splashing water into its own wound, and the wound was closing as it was doing so.
Oh, fuck you, guy.
We've got fast healing 2. Okay, so that one, they took their single action. That one took a double action to throw the acid arrow. This one is also going to swim up to the edge and try to like claw at your hat. +1 from above, but you get cover. AC 20. There's sort of a wet scrape against the top of your helmet, I'm assuming, on it.
Yep. Miss.
This guy sees Capra.
You ugly.
You're ugly. And you're a bully, and you're vermin, and you're not allowed here. So there.
You like arrows?
So you're alright.
This green arrow now like coming towards you.
Try this one on, ugly.
14 touch.
Miss.
Okay. You duck and little acid spittle as it goes flying into the
And-
cloud.
Not missed by a lot.
And then this one is definitely going after Dugan. How high up are you, Dugan?
He's not high up, like maybe 20 feet.
Okay. This thing splashes to here, opens up its jaws, and breathes this acidic cloud towards you.
Okay.
That's unfortunate.
It is a 15-foot cone.
These things are annoying.
Give me a reflex save.
Oh, that's what I like to hear.
You're evading, aren't you? Who's an evaded little man?
And this is like
I evade.
It's 27.
Do you have evasion?
I do.
Okay, the DC was 13, and the damage was 3 acid, save for half. So it was like a bit of spittle in the air kind of thing, like a fog in the air. This was not like an agony fire cone, but... And I'll roll to see how many more rounds before I can do that again. It'll be round 7 for this guy.
Watch it, they got bad breath.
Ah, you have bad breath.
And Prisoner, you have Everest.
Dingle.
Alright, get him, boys! We'll do a bard song, and then we're going to rapid shot this one. It's really close.
Okay. Yeah, he's poking over the side, looking at you.
Yeah, he just has a spell in my face. So point blank and bard song means plus 11s. AC 16 is probably a miss. AC 14 is definitely a miss.
Yeah. You fire, one arrow clicks too low and sticking it to the side of the stone fountain, and the other one too high and sticks it at the back of there. Duggan.
I must be getting allergic to stupid. Flies to here, going after Water Imp 1.
Okay, with it providing Cog's not in the same area, but you're kind of down. Yeah,
He can fly up and get that line going.
You can. Yeah.
All right. He pulls out another crossbow head and it's flying.
Allergic to stupid. I get allergic to stupid.
You can see the Mephit reaching up to like catch it. Like it looks like they're pretty dumb.
12.
Yeah, I was diving for it as well.
Catch the loogie.
AC 21.
His face turns from like I want it to like, oh, that was a bad idea. Oh god, 24 damage.
24 points of damage.
It's magic. Okay, so this thing is face down in the water.
Throw it out of the fountain.
Cog.
He said throw it out of the fountain.
Bad loogie. Bad loogie.
This one's...
Cog's gonna pick up this one out of the water and
Okay.
throw it out over here.
Okay, you reach in. It's really slimy and gross. It feels like a bumpy fish belly.
So pick up, 3-action drop.
Throw is an action. Drop is a free action.
Do you have long arms?
So activate my long arms,
Okay,
Pick
single
up.
action. Yep.
and then pick up as another action. Drop them over here.
The extending left arm goes over, grabs the thing over the side, and then just like drops it over here.
Inspector Gadget's it over there.
Yep.
You can actually drop it as you're like hooking Water Imp 3.
You've got one action left, so you can go punch either of those imps just for funsies.
Flurry either one of these guys. I think
Yeah,
I'll
you have a
start
+1 from above here. I also need your acrobatics check because you're
with-
balancing on this rounded.
yeah, 18.
Yeah, you're slippery.
+1 against this guy.
Yes,
Sure.
no cover. This guy has cover.
Okay.
So you're punching the one that's like peeking up at Capra and playing a stupid game of like Impo Polo or something. But
Bard song is up. Impo. He will lose Impo Polo. I'm the master of Impo Polo.
trying to guard against it.
14 damage.
And your fists are magical. Okay, that's the first damage he took. Does not like that. The Quicksilver little guy.
Fees.
He breathes down on the water imp, and it a cone? It is a 20-foot cone, straight down.
Oh, it's a big cone.
The little guy does 2d8 points of damage, and the reflex save from the imp is a nat 1. Let me see if the water mephit takes this. I think he does. He doesn't have any. He takes 5 damage.
Immunity.
And he's in that rare state that never happens.
So cold.
Like all sorts of bobbing icicles and like the ice, like the water around him, the thin layer turned to ice, and little creature looks like he's less water and more shivering cold.
What do you get for being a horrible, evil little bully?
Quicksilver lizard sneezes and looks back at Capra and gives a quick smile. Water imps. Alright, let's do their healing. This one doesn't heal. This one heals 2. Is no longer disabled.
Wait, which one?
The one that you just punched.
This one heals 2. And this one heals 2, but he's still got all that strength damage. Alright, what are they doing? Bad Loogie. He has not used his Stinko spell.
He's gonna fart on someone.
Yeah, so the Stinko spell, just the bottom of it is kind of like where Dugan is. So like this billowing cloud of stink kind of descends upon you. So the part of the stink cloud that is actually touching you is only this big.
Oh, not one.
All right, so you are nauseated. I'll give you a. And Dugan, you're losing your bread lunch.
Yeah.
Loogie!
The thing swims over to the loogies and is playing with it as an action.
Oh, this is why you die.
This one is gonna spend a full round climbing, exposes himself, and then he like climbs over into the next level, and then he swims rapidly over towards Cog is, and there's this fucking thing in the water that's attacking your leg.
Okay, do I get an AOO?
Your arm is
Long.
yep. So your arm is long enough to get an AOO.
He's got El Longo Armo Grande.
Plus it would be so 17. Would 17 hit?
17 is their AC.
Okay.
Okay, it claws at you. AC 9. Basically, a bunch of water splashes up your leg, and that's about as effectual as it is. This guy, he's used his Stinking Cloud and his.
He threw an arrow at me.
Yep. A 15-foot cone. Can't quite get the dragon, but he ends up getting Capra. DC 13 reflex save.
I don't have my ring yet.
Spits out some putrid water in like a spray.
I make the save.
Okay, you
but
take
I don't have evasion.
1 acid damage, and then he swims away cackling.
Get back here, you.
Just water sloshing in this horrible fountain. Mischievous looks in the weird columns that are looking down upon this place. Dingle.
So if I move up to the edge of the fountain,
Yep.
like I want to be up the edge.
Yeah, yeah, you can fire. You're big enough that you could fire in.
Yeah, I'm firing it. I'm now spear fishing.
Yes, you're
I'm bow fishing.
shooting water imps in a fountain.
In a fountain. I will use an arcane strike, move arcane strike, and then
Oh, Chloe!
catch.
They are really dumb. They're really dumb.
Ace critical threat.
Critical threat. He's like, ah! Arrow's going towards
AC
him.
30 to confirm the critical.
He catches it, and the little guy almost caught the arrow, but the arrow stuck its way through his closing watery fingers, and is now like going into his mouth.
Wake up! Wake up!
Wake up! It's time to die.
Reduced. This is another of the reduced critical ability score. So this one is going to take strength damage. It'll take 3 strength damage, and then it will take 2d8 plus 6 plus 2 for point blank, 2 for bard song, 2 for arcane strike, and it is magical.
Okay.
23 damage.
It goes right into his mouth and it's sticking out the back of his head.
One, I don't know. Can I see one of the other two?
You can see the top of this guy's head, and
I don't know.
there's cover from these two. Okay, first off, let's
Okay,
do the 23 damage, which is 30, 40 damage. They have 19 hit points and 12 cons, which is 31.
So, dead.
So he's dead. Yeah, he caught the arrow, and he's in the water dead.
Okay, well we'll see if Imp 4 can catch the other arrow. These are vermin. There is no sympathy. They can
Okay.
have the cutest voices they want.
AC 21 with the
AC 29.
yeah, you flick it in the back of its weird ear with the arrow.
11 damage. Magic.
It is knocked out. It's floating in the water.
Get the vermin!
Nice.
Get the last one, Dugan! It's all up to you!
Dugan, you're like all the bread that you crammed into your body.
He's moving away. I don't think I can do anything.
Yeah,
How could you get
nauseated.
that much inside of him?
You are nauseated for 1d4 rounds, 1d4 plus 1 rounds after you leave the cloud.
Okay.
If it's all up to Dugan, we'll be here for a while. So it's not all up to Dugan.
So I'm nauseated for. Oh, I'm gonna be here for a while. You go ahead.
Okay, so we'll count the round that you're currently in,
That's
and then
like Kevin's armpit. Oh.
nice. If you come up with a quip for every round that you're in here that's funny, I will reward you a DM point back.
Okay.
So this round, funny. All right, Cog.
Let's see. So one is, let's just pick this guy up
Yep.
and toss his ass over here.
Okay, so you have to actually toss him because you didn't make your arm long. Your arm comes back in at the beginning of the turn.
I'll make it long.
Okay,
Pick him up, toss him out.
2 actions. You can hear one saying "loogie" up, swimming around in this top bowl.
That's 2. Wait, what's the? Oh, that one. Okay, I can't reach him. Oh, balls. All right, I'll just get up to him.
Okay, your acrobatics check.
I'll move up to him.
I need an acrobatics check to
Yep.
hop up the 10 feet.
30.
No problem. You acrobatics over the side and you launch yourself into the water.
You got for a swimming, Lukey? I peed in here.
There's loaves of bread floating through.
Yeah.
He's least of everyone's concern.
Quicksilver is just sneezing and waiting. He's hurt, but he's looking down at all of you. He's looking at Capra. Water imps. He might be waiting for his breath weapon to recharge. Water imps. Well, this guy heals a little bit. I don't know if this is gonna... He has used his acid arrow. He has not used his stink cloud. Let's see if they're immune to their own.
Which one's Stunk Cloud Dugan?
The guy on top.
Oh, the one on the top? Okay.
I think one of the ones that got launched, or was it this guy?
This guy here. Water too.
Okay, so he's used both his stink cloud and his acid arrow.
gave us lift. Hold on, I make more. Sploosh, 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 sploosh.
What? That'll make it more. That's what makes you vermin. Make it more. That'll make it be vermin.
I don't know if spell-like ability summons. Yeah, I think there's an AOO here, Cog.
Oh shit! There are 3 actions now. Ah! Oh. Punch him.
7, 8.
He's like, he's trying to like grab the water and form it into one, and you can see every time he splashes, there's like more of something there. Yeah, you fucking clock the thing in the face.
1, 2, 3. 7 damage.
7 damage.
So DC 17 plus circle to summon.
Yep. So this be DC 19. He's got a plus 8. He fails. I think his 3 action thing just went bye-bye. So that's this round. Dingle.
How hard is it to sort of scramble up this thing?
These were DC 10 ledges that are slippery. They're DC 15 to hop on.
Alright, Capra's gonna try to hip hop hoo his way to victory. I'll be with you in a moment. Just gotta get rid of the... Gotta clean this place up. I don't do it
No problem. Hop. You are now like on the edge, or you could plunge into the water if you want.
He just plunges in the water. He doesn't want to screw around with the...
Yeah, it's a spring. The water is cool.
Capra doesn't wear, like... He's got like a skirt. He doesn't wear, like, pants. So he's easy to dry off. He doesn't chafe things on a thing.
Yep. Alright, you're in the water with him. The thing is, like, its nose is all bent. It's like,
I'm trying to make more.
You try to make... No, make him more! That's why vermin! Stop making more! If you just want to use it, wouldn't be such a problem. Arcane Strike and then Rapid Shot it. AC 24. 13 damage.
he is unconscious.
Okay, and then we'll save our last arrow. We're low
Dugganschmirf.
enough level that this still matters.
Oh, it's like a rotten egg if you stuffed it up a dead troll's ass.
Cog.
And the jury says, I'm gonna, get on the other fucking side. Let's just flurry this thing full round. So 6,
While it's all down, yeah, its AC is
7,
loses its dex, 15, it falls down. That's 10. It has an AC of 6 right now.
I can just pick it up, move to, I'll extend my arm, pick it up, move to, can't I move you? Not that far. Well, whatever. I move to the edge here, and then I move to the side and throw it out.
Okay.
So I'll give you a acrobatics.
Yeah, no problem. I think the combat is done. We need one more quip from Dugan as he's sick.
Oh, I absolutely. Oh, now I know. You can taste it. Tastes like absolute misery and sadness. Now I know what that's like. Oh, that's what it's like to be Slake, I guess. Slake tastes awful.
Dugan's like, he lands on the ground, which he rarely does. And he's like, holding onto his belly. There's nothing left. Pukey bread does not taste very good. Capra and Cog slosh their way out of the mess. Eventually, the fogs dissipate.
Hi.
Hello there.
He grins at you. He seems a little bit.
Yeah.
Is anybody else injured? I pull out a potion to get for a drink. This will make you feel much better. Cure some of your wounds.
He clumsily comes off the thing. He decides that he's going to dive into the water first, and then he swims over like a little drowned, like a wet cat, and then scrambles up to the edge and hops out. He's all dripping wet. He then shakes all the water off a little bit. He looks up at you, and his tail's flapping.
It takes 5 healing.
Yeah, you see that he could probably take 4 more of those things.
Hold on. I pull out a wand and...
Looks like a tough little cookie. I'm gonna check my DM notes.
18 more healing.
What was that? How did that happen?
Wand.
You tapped him with a wand? He's like...
3 wands.
Little thing's kind of like hopping up with it and sort of playing with your wand as you're tapping with it. Like he's on his belly, he's on his back, and...
Ah, that thing's cute. Do you think it eats imps?
No.
Unfortunately, I can't use more of this on you. It's...
It feels much better, thank you.
Well, you're welcome. We have other friends that might be able to help you if you wish.
I've got friends. I am the Grand Familiar
Oh wow.
of Sajon Iron Tongue and the Familiar of Dalthan Silverclaw.
You're two people's familiar?
No, I'm the Familiar of Dalthan Silverclaw, and he's the Familiar of Sajong Iron Tongue.
So you're a familiar's familiar.
Yeah, the Grand Familiar.
Okay.
All right.
You say so. Dark wizards are complicated.
Yeah, it's part of the hierarchy.
Fascinating. Well, I'm
He
glad you're
sneezes
doing
and a
all
bunch of like little icicles, kind of like little frost along the side of the...
Yeah,
right. I'm glad you're all right.
yeah.
But
I was exploring.
He smiles up at you.
This is a holy place of an old god.
Well, I hope you like sacrifices, because we're drying these boys out like jerky.
Yeah, I think these things were inside the statues, because when I looked at the map and read the magic words that I saw on the map when I was in the fountain, these things got peed out.
Map, you see.
Yeah,
It just so happens we happen to be explorers.
you explorers too?
Oh yeah, we love exploring, don't we, boys?
yeah.
He claps his little claws together.
Yeah, I
In
think there's
fact, we were just down in the Underdark today.
Underdark. Oh, I didn't see that on my map.
No, that's not on your map. That's a different exploration.
Well, it's not my map. It's not Delphin's map. It's Sajong Irontongue's map. He has all sorts of fun stuff to play with. You know, when we're not looking.
Oh, I like fun things to play with.
Yeah, me too. There's a treasure here.
Oh, we like those too.
Given that you helped, I'd be willing to share the treasure with you.
Well, we would love to help, I think.
Okay, so now we need to find where the treasure is.
Well, maybe you could just show us that map there and we could help you figure this out.
Oh, I didn't bring the map with me. I don't really have anywhere to put it. It's a really big map.
Maybe.
It's somewhere on here, though. X marks the spot always means treasure.
What makes you think it's around here?
Well, Aldemara was the god of rogues and laughter.
Okay.
And there was a note that there was a cachet. A cashew. Yeah, cashew nut that we need to crack and get the treasure out.
Okay. And you went and investigated the statues.
Yep. And I said the word, and these things got peed out. And they almost killed me. Adventuring's hard.
Yes, it's very dangerous work.
What's your name?
Oh, I am the ever mighty Dugganschmirf.
Dugganschmirf? Huh.
Schmirf.
I'm Dwaki. Protector of the
Nice to meet
sky.
you, Duaki. These are my loyal lackeys. Adam is offline.
Hello, lackeys.
Dingleberry and Cog.
Dingleberry. Funny. Try not to laugh at him.
It's okay. You can laugh at him.
What are you made out of? Is there somebody in there?
And he's now like looking all over for a way into Cog. He's like standing up like a cat, sort of like trying to look in.
Easy there. Don't break my golem.
Golem?
That's right. I muted my golem, Ahmed.
The golem's just getting water out of him or something like that.
There's something inside him.
I pet him and let him like crawl up my arm and like hop on my
He's big. He's about the size of like a goat. Like he's a small creature. He's much heavier than Dee Dee is. Like really solid.
brace myself.
Yeah. When he sees when he's pushing you over, he kind of headbutts you a little bit playfully, and then.
That was called. Sorry, we are in Oli's court. Hey,
Hi, lackey.
Wacky.
We'll say that Dingle was trying to get water out of his ear, and he heard a conversation, but Dugan's all smiling and.
Yeah, you're the lackey of Dugganschmirf the mighty.
Oh, Dugganschmirf the Mighty.
Hey, who's in charge? You remember that.
And I'm the Grand Familiar of Sejong Iron Tongue and the Familiar of Delphin Silverclaw, Dwaki, Defender of the Sky. I'm on an adventure.
Yeah, and he's got a treasure map.
Yeah.
We should help him find.
Sejong's map
treasure.
is really big, but I snuck a look and I found Ola Damara's fountain. And then I said the magic word that was on the map, and then these things got peed out of the statues.
Oh, well, that's awfully tricky of them.
Yeah. And there's treasure here somewhere. I'll share it with you if you help me find it, because you helped me with the pea monsters.
Certainly did. And then we could probably help take you back to your master, you know?
Yeah, he's not home right now, but yeah.
When was
I
the
don't
last time
suppose he has a flying horse, does he?
No.
No.
Does he have a bourse, more importantly?
I don't know what that is.
Like a horse with bird wings and talons?
I don't know what that is.
Does he wear blue robes?
Hey, so what's up with the middle guy?
when was the last time your master was home?
We call him body deficient.
Delphin's there if you want to talk to him, but Sejong Iron Tongue, I think when I was born, hatched,
How long ago was that?
I am.
Give me a second.
This many.
Let's see what the age category is.
I am this much.
Oh, it's good. Look how good he is at counting. It'll be really helpful when we're dividing the treasure.
Yeah.
With the other guy's like,
Yeah. We divide by 4.
Yep.
So, to get you home, wait a sec. He pulls out his club and just bashes water imps at her.
Yeah, there are these horrible little things left. They're actually there. They start
Not anymore.
to dry out and shrivel, but Twaki's floating around in the water. He's looking for treasure.
Why don't you help him, God? You don't breathe. Just shove your. Although you might want to keep your. We should put like a like a shower cap on your hat so that Dee drawing doesn't get wet.
He's paddling around like a little dog, diving under the water, looking for treasure.
All right, Dugan's gonna get in the water. I got to clean off that smell anyway.
Okay, Dugan, you see that there are a lot of imperial pennies in the water.
Probably can't carry them all once I get something to carry all this.
100 cappers makes it go.
He starts wiping them away. He's looking for.
Yeah, you kind of wipe underneath. Oh yeah, this is people drop coppers into here. It's not like beds and beds of them, but they're like dots of coppers.
They're all over the place.
Yeah.
But are there any like engravings or anything that you can feel?
Oh yeah, give me if you guys are going to search the fountain,
Yep.
and you're actually getting into the fountain. Yeah, Doaki's going to aid. I think he auto aids.
Cog's checking the statues.
Okay. Capra, what are you doing after bashing the water imps in?
32, not 20 from Cog.
Capra will help this little lost child do whatever he needs to do so we can take him home.
Okay.
So that's
Capra, you notice that while it's really old, the statues look like they are standing on a base. Like they are caryatid columns, meaning they have a flat top and a flat bottom. But you notice that one of the caryatid bottoms is slightly askew from the same shaped square of the base that it's on. So it's like there's a base and actual... Cog sees with his 32 or whatever you got.
No.
It's like one of the columns is slightly askew.
Huh. Look at here, guys. Looks like we found something.
No.
This...
like pulls his head out of the
This statue can turn. The others might as well.
Yeah, there was an inscription. It says, "The best thieves are the ones that are unseen."
Oh.
Turn
Well,
the statues to face away from the pool.
yeah, exactly.
all right, I'll do this one.
Cog, you should do this one, and then that one. Capra will get that one.
Well, we should turn them at once, otherwise it might peel more thingies.
I don't think I can turn it.
Well, then you should eat some more food or something. Just don't puke your bread out all of the time. Oh, you smell the bad smell. I'm gonna puke out all my lunch.
Eat more. The bread was half my body weight.
You guys my bread?
Swimming in the water is so cute.
Yes. Sometimes we enjoy our own NPCs. Okay, Dugan will try one, but he's really not expecting.
Yeah, give me a strength check, Dugan. See if you can move the big column sideways. You're kind of flying at it and you're trying to turn.
This is fucking ridiculous.
Or I could just turn them all.
I can do this. Hang on.
I think there's a
That is-
-8 from size penalties. It's 4 per size category.
For strength checks?
Typically, yeah. You get a +4
Alright.
when you're big.
I think it's probably -4.
Yeah, it's -1 plus ones for CMBs and CMDs.
Yeah, if
strength
it
checks,
follows if it follows that, it's probably the same. I'd be at -6. I got a -4.
It doesn't budge. It doesn't.
I
Even...
hurt myself. At my thumb.
Cog, give me a strength
Listen.
check as you're trying to turn this column.
Okay. Oh yeah. Wait, does my arm work for that?
Yeah,
No,
yeah, you get a +2 strength because you're using your arm.
Fuck yeah.
So,
If this is equivalent of breaking items, breaking items still uses the really harsh rules.
okay.
9.
Even with your increased strength, you're unable to twist the column.
I wasn't really built for this.
Capra's gonna... Sometimes fairies just gotta do things on their own. Let's now he's like we'll roll like a 1. It'll be hilarious. We'll be like, oh, you jackass.
You know, a real fairy just charred my human.
Natural 1. He falls. Ash.
It's all slippery.
Okay, all right. We can do this. Thanks, brother.
The important thing is, Capra, we never speak of this again.
Paddling over with his no swim speed as Doaki is so cute. He comes up to the edge scrambling. He's like,
Maybe if we all work together.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. We teamwork. Good idea. Let's teamwork.
Oh, yeah, sure, dude, like this one. Fuck.
Yeah, why don't we try doing them at the same time? Each of us.
We just tried that.
They might be locked unless
Okay,
you...
everybody go to 1 and we'll all try individually on each one at the same time again.
yep.
I'm gonna try disable device and see what how it works. Not to disable it, but see how it works.
Okay, so you're looking down in the cracks and...
Yeah.
While he's doing that, Capra's going to try his again.
Okay.
Just to make up for 23.
Oh, you're like, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Oh! And what is your disabled device?
24.
Yeah, you can give yourself a +2 circumstance bonus to switching these things. You know which way to turn them, and you get what you're supposed to do.
Okay, I'll try
You're
one.
supposed to turn them left, and
15?
Capra has completely turned this one so it's looking outwards.
I am the champion!
15 turns this thing outwards,
Here we go.
and you hear it like lock into place, like there's a little click.
Weren't we doing something else?
Doaki is going to try to push his.
We are trying to save this poor, lost, innocent little baby dragon, and to do so, we need to find the pile of treasure.
Don't get me
Because
wrong.
the treasure pile was guarded by vermin. Vermin! There might be more vermin that has to be gotten rid of.
Doaki's like headbutting it and can't quite get it.
Here, alright, here we go. Let's do this one again. Here. I'll help you with this one. Cog is just going to take the lead. Like, he's going to take the lead and...
Okay.
Doaki fails to help, but he doesn't hinder.
Do I get a +2 because I know which direction to spin it? Or...
Cog, yeah, sure.
19?
Yep, you're able to turn that last one.
Okay. I had a 13. Yeah.
13 is not strong enough, it's just too heavy.
Do you need a little help there, fellas? Good job, Doaki, you got this one! You did it!
Alright, try this last one again.
Alright, Doaki will aid Capra.
Alright, I think I loosened it up for you guys, so it shouldn't be too hard.
I got a 16.
Yep, and with it's easier with Doaki pushing, like he just puts his head against it and starts pushing, and Cog is actually wrenching at the same time as you're heaving, and Capra, you do turn this last one, and you guys can hear a gurgling sound coming from the top of the fountain, like water running, kind of.
Oh, we should go up there.
Oh, you know what, guys? They forget why we came out today. Let's go look at someone there.
Yep. And if they complain, you're the one in charge.
Okay, so all the water has rushed somewhere. You can still kind of turning whichever.
Yeah.
We're in the northern hemisphere, so in the proper way.
The water runs rightly.
Yeah, exactly. And it is something sunk, and the water's all kind of going in around where the thing sunk, but the thing that the water's currently all rushing around suspiciously looks like a stone box. Like now that it's down, it might be openable. Or you might be able to lift the lid off of it, because you can reach in and...
Check it for traps.
Yep.
Hey, Doaki, come take a look, but don't get too close if I explode. Just, yeah, there you go.
Not that
Peek over the edge.
not that my perception's particularly awesome. 23.
No, you probably don't want to. You probably want to wait till it drains. Like somebody your size could end up wherever all the water's going.
Capra, I think, we'll try to pick it up.
Okay. You reach in. Yeah, it's heavy, but you lift and it's like a solid stone treasure box.
This was built to last. This one
Probably weighs 120 pounds.
I'll go give you a hand. I aid.
Okay.
Capra can lift 230 and walk around with it. He can carry 230.
So
He's
the water is all drained out. There's only a slight bit of an incline. It is slimy, but you could put the box down on the slimy stone if you wanted to.
Yep, we'll pull it out and
then
stick it on
Dugan just sees a line around, like there's a lid, and there might be 2 spots on either side where you could put in like pry bars to lift the lid off the box.
Your map was correct. There's treasures here.
He's just happily waiting
I
in the
brought
water.
my tools.
Now, hopefully it doesn't blow off my important bits when we open it up.
Okay, this is pretty simple. This is a DC 12 disable device check to get your
Automatic.
tools in, and okay, so you got tools in one side.
But tools in the other.
Cog, give me a hand. It's a giant stone thing. I don't know if Dugan's doing this without some help.
Yep.
Disable device.
And you got 2 rogues. They're both here, so take it from both sides.
Okay, you're having a hard time getting your crowbar into the latch.
Oh,
There's
for
DC
crying out loud, come here. Give me that. Problem is, your hands are too damn big, that's why.
Okay.
It in for you.
You have a plus what, Dugan?
I got a plus 14 with my.
Okay, yeah, so he puts the tool in between the two of you. Dugan's stomping on his tool. Cog is like actually using it like a lever, and then you've got Capra trying to lift the lid. And there is a box with things inside. There's an old kind of darkened sackcloth that is wrapped around something, and we need to now roll what the something is because I did not plan this.
That's
Yell magic item or something. Yell treasure? What is it?
Yep. So let's figure out.
After we get the box open, Dugan flies up to Capra's shoulder, says to you and Sylvan, I think it's time.
4 CR3s and then a.
Time for what?
You know, it's time. He's looking at Dewaki. You know.
Executive override. It's not the time.
Come on, I'm supposed to be in charge. I mean, we love to share.
Okay, a 6400 XP would be a CR9. I'm going to say there's a CR8 treasure inside.
Well, that wizard got away. We need his treasure. I was just saying.
I'm going to say this is
what were the CRs of those methods?
3s.
Ooh.
They had some hit points and some spell.
Well, they had some spells. They had some like. There's a couple of like, do you fail that fort save? Yeah, well, you're done. They just go beat your ass for the next 30 seconds.
Stand around and breathe on you until, yeah, they're mean. At least they're not the magic missiling methods.
Yeah.
Whether I don't know quite if that's the CR where they try to pump the treasure value up.
Just keep those methods away from us. That's all I'm asking.
Ooh, DM point for CR10 treasure. I like that.
No. You don't spend the DR. You don't spend the DM point to make it CR10 treasure. You spend the DM point to add CR10 treasure.
There's the magic item companion. I like this book. All right, give me 3 percentiles.
All right, one from each of us. How about that?
All right. 21.
89.
Tiny 7.
Nice. Because
This particular book isn't higher or better. This particular book is like random.
Point switch books.
10 point to switch books. Yes.
Okay.
I want that neutral Avenger.
I'm spending the stream's DM point.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
21. I don't know what that is. And
It's the
more.
staff of the wizard druid with cleric spells. Oh my god. It's the old Damara staff of a hey.
I have no idea what any of these things are, so I need to read for a minute.
Alright.
21 is a tabard. 140.
My dog's doing a dance at the door. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
My dogs are still conked out from the run I took them on. Go upstairs, heads just dislocated from their skull, and their tongues are just like.
Why didn't he put us on his shoulders? Doesn't love me anymore.
My shepherd is more offended by being put on the shoulder to be run with. Does not like being under her own power. Except for when she's high.
Stop eating red meat.
Cool. I like that one. And the other one was 89.
I do want to address the lighting in my room, Ahmed, because the amount of like skull shine, like I'm getting like light flares reflecting off of my bare skull.
People used to ask me, do you wax your head? Think about that for a second.
Do you wax your anything else should be the answer.
When I shave my head, it's very shiny, so I understand, but I still don't understand.
Oh, there's not that much hair left.
Fine, looking good.
Although Mara's mighty gauntlet.
Okay. There is a bundle inside the sackcloth.
Okay, I'm gonna go to the. Bundle of stuff. We'll like carefully open it up.
Okay. The sackcloth with age kind of crumbles away.
Okay.
But there is a gray tabard, like something you wear over top of armor. It is super silky and super light. It has yellowish embroidery and a particular pattern in the center of it.
Three dead rats on the end of a pitchfork.
No.
two crossed pitchforks with three dead rats on either side.
Something in the air? They had that shit back in the old days.
Our family tabard is a fighting cock. It's a big yellow rooster on a green field.
It has a bunch of symbols in it in like a circle. And Cog, you recognize the fabric as elven.
This is elven material.
Yeah, well, this was Elvish Reserve for a long time.
Cog will drink and identify. Well, I'll spend a minute make an identify potion.
So you can identify 3 items. I heard there was 3 items.
No, I had 3 rolls. I picked the one.
3
I
rolls.
picked the one I liked.
Oh, this is the item.
Yeah.
Cool. What does it do?
Okay, so you standing there in the water or in the wet area, make your identify potion. You inject it.
We
somehow.
really look like we vandalized this historic.
Twisted the statues, drained the fountain.
Yep. Open the box. Got a tabard. Yeah. Give me your spellcraft check at +10.
Alright, 1d20 plus 10.
Do you not have any ranks in spellcraft?
Yep.
Okay, well then you can't make your identify check. You need to feed it to somebody else.
Other people can't drink it. It's poison.
No, it's poison.
You don't have an infusion?
Not yet.
So, identify. It's an enhancement bonus, and it doesn't allow you to identify. So you need to. It's like detect magic. It functions like detect magic. So you're detecting magic. It's magical.
It's definitely magical. Definitely.
I could have told you that.
Yeah, it's giving off a quite bright aura compared to the other magic you've seen. You may want to, during downtime, retrain a skill point to go into spellcraft so you could identify it.
Yeah, that's a useless potion right there. Maybe.
Sorry.
Yeah, Capra's got feats that he can't use because he's having skill points. He's looking to level up.
I had other stuff to put points in.
What does it do?
Well, we don't know. What we first should do, though, is clean up the statues, and then we should bring you home.
Are we sure that's not cursed? It looked a little cursed to me.
He pulls off a little like scale that through injury was kind of loose. He puts it into the box.
Yeah, put it back.
Okay, we're gonna close it. We're gonna plunk the lid back on,
Yep.
stick it in the hole.
What, are you gonna grow another one in there or something?
No, it's treasure for the next person who gets in there. They can look them up and see if they need the tabard.
We can take some of the pennies.
Yeah.
We'll throw 100 pennies in there.
Okay, you collect 100 pennies. By that, takes you some time to do that. You're guessing that there's several hundred more pennies that you could pick up if you really wanted pocket full of coppers.
Capra's got magic arrows. He doesn't eat pennies right now. And then we're going to reset all the statues.
Yep, the statues begin peeing. Some of them are spouting through their mouths. One of them is actually peeing with an evil grin on his face, and the water starts to slowly fill back up.
And is there like a dustbin nearby? Like, where does garbage go?
There are alleys that you pass.
Okay, we're just going to dump these things in whatever alley there is. They're just like dead vermin.
So how do we split the cloak 3 ways? 4 ways?
Well, normally we have to figure out what it does first.
Oh, do you know who could figure things out?
I know an old guy, and I know a dragon man, and I know...
Yes, Dragon Man.
Yeah.
Is this your dragon man or our dragon man?
Oh, you've got a Dragon Man too?
Everybody's got a dragon man.
Oh, so Duggan's a familiar.
Deegan.
Dugan is very familiar. I'm familiar with Dugan.
Deegan.
Dugan, are you familiar?
Do you know what I like? Do you know what I like? Do you know what I like, Duggan? When your master gives you a spell.
Does your master have lots of fun toys?
He can find out what that thing does.
Yes. Let's go find out what it does at
Okay.
his master's.
Okay. To Fairy Village we go.
Yes.
Hey, that's where we're going. Let's,
Very coincidental. How lucky for us.
Yes.
He takes flight and he's fast. He flies at 150 or some bullshit like that. Yeah, 150.
That's some bullshit.
I think that's a real dragon.
Capra, give me a knowledge local or an int check or something.
I don't knowledge nothing. I can int check. Yeah, roll an int check. That's what I can do. Natural 20 gives me a 20.
You remember at the time there was a lot of excitement in the. This is about 3 years ago, maybe 4. Excitement in the Sylvan Acres, because apparently they somehow had a silver dragon egg, and like the whole village was waiting for the thing to hatch. You never saw it hatch, but you kind of remember what you had gone to talk to your uncle for some reason, and you remember like people were like they celebrated this thing's hatching.
So you're the thing. You're 3, right? That's what you said.
This much.
Yeah. I didn't think we should have been hatching monster eggs in the city.
Monster eggs. Where?
Yeah. Nowhere now.
He scratches. He doesn't realize you're talking about him.
I think we're losing sight of the important thing.
Yeah, we're supposed.
Take us home.
Okay. You guys pass into the neighborhood. There are some Thane. They don't really think twice about Capra or Dugganschmirf wandering through. Some of them are actually waving to Dwaki. Dwaki says hi to like 20 people on the way there. There's a little bit more nature here, like little cottages clustered together. There are some main thoroughfare streets. There are open spaces and trees, and like this. You get the sense that it's like nature trying to retake what was once it. There are some buildings that have collapsed, and like nature's retaking them.
There's hidey holes and unkempt nature everywhere.
There are fawn. There are some atomies flying around. You can see that there is a large rectangular stone building at the center of a well-manicured garden, and you can see the Sylvanite holy symbol emblazoned on the side of it, and some beautiful fey stained glass windows kind of shining.
Oh, yeah, that's
Sorry.
That's Deacon Zilbu Nigglebutt.
Yep.
That's the deacon's place, right?
yeah. You need holy services?
Not so much holy services.
Okay, well, we're gonna go there.
And you can see that there is an old castle at the center of the reserve. This place could have been owned by Fae or humans or early explorers or something, but it's at the center of the reserve, and it's covered in moss, and you can see all sorts of Fae and people floating around it. And at this point in time, you're being confronted.
Hi.
Let's go to conversation.
Okay.
Give me a D4. 1 is the deacon, 2 is the sheriff, 3 it's Mulberry, 4 it's Deputy Zip.
Deputies.
Oh, this conversation's going to go swimmingly.
Hey, Zip. How you doing? We're just trying to get Akia.
Doaki?
Dwaki. Sorry, I'm just trying to remember from the letters. Dwaki. I'm just trying to bring Dwaki back. He was lost.
He looks at Cog and he makes that noise.
Oh, yeah. He's got an elf in him. He kind of got a funny outside, but inside he's an elf. He's fine.
What language are you guys speaking?
He's speaking whistle.
We're on the conversation layer. He's this really fuzzy.
Having a Star Wars conversation with the robot.
Yep. Dwaki's flying around. He flies at 150. He's like home, saying goodbye to people. Like, you're not really bringing anyone anywhere. You do have this weird elven tabard, though, that...
Yeah, we were, how's Hector? That's nice. Oh. So, you wouldn't happen to know if my uncle's been keeping his nose out of trouble?
How the fuck do you know what that means?
He like suppressive. Big smile on
Your
his
mind's
face.
your toad or I'll shove it up your ass.
You just don't understand, Fawn. I can pull up my flutes too, and we could do this two-way.
He grins at you, and he's like looking at Cog. He's
Yeah.
Hello. My name is Cog. Or Mateus. It's a pleasure to meet you as well.
He's saying his name is Zip.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
He's looking at
I'm gonna
Dugan.
go find. I'm gonna go find an open window.
Hey, Dugan,
Dwaki's like,
Zip,
it's like his flight is so happy, but it's like struggling, like, but he's really fast. It's
Look at me!
yeah, exactly.
Oh my god, he's overshooting all over the
He
place.
kind of lands and tumbles in the grass in front of you.
hey, Dugan, so, Zip's the deputy. When you see the big centaur, that's the sheriff. That's Hector. He's Zip's best friend.
The deputy doesn't even talk.
Well, you know how they like to blow whistles and then everybody comes and, you know.
Well, I'd be very interested to see the depositions in your trials. Some of it's written, some of it's in music notes.
He taps his head.
Uh-huh. Okay, I don't know what you're saying.
He's warning you.
How do you know?
He just points up at the He points to like a building near the castle.
Is that where you live?
He points to Capra and points to the building. You're pretty sure that's where your uncle lives. So.
Yep, that's where.
That's where you live. Okay.
Yeah,
Don't
they're,
worry.
they're not talking to the. They're not talking about the old keep like castle. There's a couple of buildings, a cluster of buildings near the
Yeah.
base of the hill.
Thank you, Zip. Any monster problems recently? Yeah, there's a bunch of. Hey.
He starts to play like the marching song, but he does it almost sarcastically. You know, this is one of like the imperial marching songs, and he rolls his eyes and then wanders off.
You know, you'd expect that someone with such a problem with rats wouldn't be friends with the law.
What do you mean? I've got a permit to kill rats.
snitches.
It says right here, I'm a rat catcher and I have the permission to exterminate, drive out, and or detain rats.
Oh, can I see that?
No. You can see it, but you can't touch it. It's mine.
I
Okay,
would never dream of touching.
Dwaki hunted probably like 3 grasshoppers while you were having this conversation. He comes up to you, he's crunching a couple grasshoppers in his mouth.
Ah. Food.
Okay, he walks alongside you for a while. His his base movement speed is 40 because dragons are the superior race from the before times.
Because they were.
Like the one advantage of white dragons was they had move speed 60.
Yeah.
That's their one thing. They just move fast. Extra fast.
Okay, you can see some people in a line. They seem to be holding goods, and they're waiting. They look kind of miserable. People are like fawn and some half elves.
What are they lining up for?
To
To which building?
the building where the deputy Zip had pointed you.
Pointed us?
It's
I see. This is where the bribes go.
yeah, Dugan. You recognize a tax line when you see one.
Bribes, taxes, call it what you like. It's protection money.
There is an ogre. He's sitting in front of the door. He's looking bored. Next.
Oh, we know how this one goes. Where's Duty with her sleep arrow?
To do with your sleep arrows back at the base.
Hey, you. Get in line.
Ooh.
Hey, Krug. Getting in the line.
Yeah. He's like,
Let,
he's trying to summon your name. He's like, yeah, you get in line. Hey, you two, get in line. No flying here. See? He points the other way, and you can see.
and let me guess, you're gonna get all weepy if I murder this one.
I will. Don't. It's Krug. Krug is. He's slow. That's okay.
Nah.
Dwaki just kind of struts in.
Hey, Croc.
All right, Dwaki, go on in.
That's some fucking bullshit right there. You're a late test, that's a prick.
Hey, you're not the yelly thing. Get in line.
Get in line.
Yeah, you get in line. You can see people not have their stuff as they go in. Like, as they come out, I mean. Like, the people in line, one at a time, they're going in. Who's first out of the 3 of you?
Capra.
Ahmed, you awake? Caffeine, Ahmed. Caffeine.
Muted.
Oh. Bloody hell. Sorry.
Yous together?
Yes.
Yes.
As long as Dugan doesn't fuck around. Otherwise, he's not so.
Which one's... What's a Dugan?
A little blue guy. He's with us.
He's back there.
No, you're at the end of the line. Oh, they're invisible again. No invisible, no flying! He's yelling at the air.
You better go tell him, because they're fucking making...
Yeah, I'm tired of this shit. Hey! He's just waving around in the air.
You get him, Craig. You
All
tell
right,
him.
well, while he's busy, let's just go in.
Okay, you go into there's like a cloakroom. There's a mat that says "wipe your feet," and then there's a door that's heavy. It's slightly ajar that leads into a really dark, kind of circular room. And there is a high desk, kind of embedded at the far end of the circular room, and you can see in the dim light. Mulberry Nighthorn writing with this very large scroll, and he's writing with what looks like some sort of magic ink. He kind of does this fluid drop, and his dark fingernails are carefully holding on to what looks like a weird quill that's almost ethereal in its quality. Dugan, because you're flying, you catch a glimpse at what he's writing. He's writing stuff, but as he's writing, the ink seems to glitter and then disappear. He's got a couple of like little clips, like he seems to be moving the scroll, like keeping track of where he's writing. He's got well manicured dark claws, really, really finely brushed fuzzy skin, and wicked horns that come to a tip. They're little metal tips at the end of his horns to make them sharp.
Oh, I could use some metal too. I could use natural attack. Oh,
Doaki's like,
Hi, Mulberry. I went on an adventure today.
did you? Congratulations.
Yes, we went to Ola Damara's fountain, and these guys helped me.
Ah, making friends. Capra.
Hi, Uncle Mulberry.
He puts the weird thing, the quill back into its holder. He actually gets up behind the desk and walks down these little stairs towards the desk. He's pretty tall for a satyr, with his horns probably 6 feet. He's got weird goatee legs and he's got a bandolier, this really dark kind of like leathery metal skirt to hide the glory or shame of
That which makes a satyr a satyr.
Exactly. He goes over and he goes up to Capra and gives him a bit of a hug. It's not a warm embrace; it's more of a shoulder kind of thing. He kisses each cheek, or kind of makes the kissing motion around each cheek. Doaki's playing with some of the stuff that's in a pile. Like, it looks like there's a bunch of fruit and vegetables and breads and pies, and he's like snooping in some of the things that are off to the side. Mulberry glances, but he doesn't seem too concerned.
How you do? How's business?
What brings you to Sylvan Acres?
Well, we did help out Daiko here, but we might be in a little bit of trouble.
What did you find in the sewers?
In the sewers.
Oh, that's where you...
How the fuck does this guy know where we've been? Have you been talking? What did I say about rats?
Well, it might just be historical. I don't know.
You are
rats.
Yeah, that's right.
We found a lot of rats. And
Snitches get stitches.
And the rats, because, well, under the purview of the title of the rat catcher, rats aren't supposed to be around. So, in the old stacks there, we got rid of the rats.
All of them.
Pretty much.
You're behind the recent rumors that have been permeating from the old stacks.
And then Capra's like putting down a bundle of treasure. So he's literally pulling out this sack.
It gets a little worse than that, actually.
Then
Wait a moment.
there was
Introduce me to your companions here. And you notice that he's seen Faye before, but he's
This is Dugganschmirf, and he's friends with drunks, and he's like a landlord.
he pauses for a moment. Dugganschmirf is what you said?
I see my reputation precedes me. That's not necessarily a good thing in my profession, though.
A pleasure to meet you. And he extends just two fingers to shake your hand, like he's done this with
He
Tiny Faye.
shakes his hand proudly.
Okay, he squeezes for a moment. The Dugganschmirf?
I believe yes.
You don't like how the handshake lingered for a little bit as he was looking at you. Like he was kind of pulling you in to get a really good look at your face. And they finally let go.
He's eyeing him back.
He knows something.
And this is Mateus, otherwise known as Cog, and despite the outer shell, he's an elf.
Pleasure.
Ah, what fine armor?
No, something different.
He's
Your friend.
he's shaking your right hand, but you notice as well he's shaking your hand. He's looking at your left arm.
So,
Oh yeah, he's onto it.
so, the rats might have had people with them that were like sort of cat-like people, cats, and like sinful cats.
Holy fuck, you beat around the bush, don't you?
Yeah, he goes over and he's now poking at the treasure you put up on the table. Like, did you put all the gift package up on the table? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, he's looking at it. You notice he takes a little monocle and he's like looking at the. He's looking at
that's
the.
magic. And then we might have had an interaction with. Let's see. Then Belchick showed up and he brought a bunch of guys and they didn't knock, and then there was a fight, and then a bunch of people died, and then his Igor died. It was unfortunate. It might have happened to been Darrow, but we're just not going to talk about it.
All right, we run no checks, and it's open season on no checks. Can you help?
He said this.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. He tried to get us to do a thing, and then we did the thing, and then he kept changing the thing, so, yeah.
He goes walking back up his little steps and sits down and pushes the treasure off to the side. So you're saying is that you refuse to come work for me and decided to set out into the city to capture rats, and what you ended up doing was joining a gang?
Didn't join a gang. It's a watch. It's a neighborhood watch where people can volunteer to help keep the neighborhood safe, and then people like the rats don't get to bully everybody around and take their stuff.
We're a secret gang.
He looks at Cog. I don't think you are keeping your secrets very well.
We're not very good at it. Although, I don't know if you heard about the other one. The other one is way less secret than this one.
Duaki, do you know these people?
They helped me on my adventure. They saved me from water things.
Yeah, vermin. Vermin monsters that are just hanging out in things because vermin monsters are just everywhere.
Can you water things? You think there are fluttering fae up there?
Oh, they're like detecting thoughts or something?
Oh yeah, don't think any dirty thoughts. It's mostly you do.
Okay. And you notice that there's a little placard, like a little wooden placard on the edge of his desk, and you can see a little pointer go to Y for yes. And then the little pointer goes back.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yes, water things. Well, I'm sure that our resident wizards would be happy to hear about that. I'm glad that you're safe on your adventure, Duaki. Do make sure you tell your masters where it is that you're going.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, Duaki, I would like to have a conversation with my nephew here and his new friends.
Did you mention that he's your uncle?
He opened the conversation with Uncle Mulberry, but that's the first time he mentioned it was his uncle. He said hello as uncle.
Wait, you're not like uncle, like a friend of the family. You're his actual uncle.
Yes, Capra is the son of my brother.
What the fuck happened to you?
Yeah, you should really keep about yourself. What else are you hiding?
I mean, that's a noble-looking, fearsome fae right there. Something to respect.
Yeah,
You look like you got kicked like a mule, Capra.
That was not a good time.
You must have been.
I'm gonna go tell my master about our adventures. Bye!
Oh, it's a pleasure meeting you.
Yeah. You too, Dugan the Mighty, and Cog and Capra.
Bye-bye.
Wait,
Buddy.
you're his nephew? Are you staying here then?
Oh, sorry, what was that?
I'm not sure, Dwaki, if he's staying here or if he's going back to the old stacks where he lives. Now.
We'll be back for sure, Dwacky.
Okay, I'm gonna go tell my master, and I'm gonna go tell my grandmaster if he's home.
Oh, okay.
Seriously, like you had beaten with an ugly stick or something. Was your mother cursed when you was pregnant with you?
You don't talk about my mother.
Oh, easy.
You notice him looking at the items and he's writing things into a book.
She was no doubt a fine woman for loving a baby like you.
That's right.
He takes the items after he puts the quill down and puts them behind the desk. You hear them clink together because some of them are metal. You are asking for our protection. Are you not?
Yep.
One way of doing this would be very easy. The three of you could just simply move into Sylvan Acres and leave your gang to its ultimate demise and fate.
We don't really use the G word, but
That's not possible.
Effectively.
Why not?
Well, wait, could we move the whole gang in?
How many are we talking about? And if well, I'm sure we could make an exception for an elf, if this is truly an elf under there. The others, it depends. It depends. And he's beating around the bush. He's like, well, what race are they?
I'm pretty certain that Slake probably wouldn't be welcome. Amadeus is probably going to have a problem. Kev would be questionable at best. And,
We can drop Kev. He's dead weight. We all know this.
Dee Dee would be alright. But it's pretty much Dee Dee.
Dee Dee?
Dewdrop.
Sun Petal.
You
That's the one.
probably already know her.
Yes, she's a pixie. He's like trying to remember.
Yeah, she's one of the reasons why we have a watch now, actually.
Okay,
yeah.
he doesn't seem to be really overly interested in Dee Dee. It's just he was trying to remember Faye's name.
He knows.
So...
Alright, here's the thing. The others can be useful, that's the thing.
The thing is, I could provide the protection of Sylvan Acres to all the Fae. All you have to do is simply move here, and we'll find you a nice place to rent. And the protection of the Sylvan Acres will wash over you by both imperial decree, and there are others that do not wish to break such commandments. Your other friends, however, will have to deal with their problems on their own.
But what if we want... Okay, how about what if we... Belchick is going to send bad men to do bad things to the neighborhood, and there's nobody there to keep Belchick and the bad men from doing the bad things.
Does this have something to do with you, Dugan?
Me? I did nothing except try to broker peace with a crazed fucking dwarf.
Ahmed, you had an idea in the past about Dugan's backstory.
Oh, yes.
It's white as blank.
No, there's things there, but it's like...
There's things there, but it's vague.
He has a beef with city thieves guild and operates off their books, which is why he has been pushed to old stacks. Was there a thing like this would be an awesome time for you to spend a DM point?
Yeah, it's coming in.
Okay.
So Dugan, you're on your own. You actually had a family, but your family, your mom and dad, your parents were killed, and you did have a little sister. You're not exactly sure if she's alive or dead, but you know that one of the syndicate families has her, and you were the only one to escape out of your family. And the reason that this happened to your family was because your expert thief's parents stole something from one of the syndicate families, and you have this item.
Okay.
You're not really sure what it does. You just know it's very important, and it's one piece of something.
Okay.
And when they came back for retribution, you grabbed the item, ran. Your parents tried to defend. They weren't able to, and they took your little sister. You found the bodies, but your sister wasn't there, so you're not sure where she is.
Okay. All right. What kind of item?
I'm assuming a small item, just in terms of mechanically. Unless it's hidden somewhere, it could be just stooshed somewhere.
Well, if I ran off with it, it was
You
Slow.
haven't figured it out. You haven't figured out what it does, what it's for, but it looks like it connects with other things.
like some piece of machinery, or
I'm gonna spend a DM point.
Okay.
Not. You can go ahead.
It is a small gemstone.
Nice.
okay.
Does it look like it sockets into a device, like an infinity stone, or does it look like it's
Yeah,
multiple
half
parts of a
half the
that's one into a
gemstone
gem?
half of the gemstone is long and suspiciously tooth shaped,
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
like a molar cut from some gemstone.
Gem tooth. Put that on my.
And it's an emerald.
It's the ultimate backup projectile weapon. Kinetic projectile.
All right, emerald. Tooth. All right. No, this has nothing to do with anything like. No, nothing to do with me. I just trading there.
Well, is that suitable? The three of you could move here with any of the Fae, or elves, or even half-elves. If you could trace your parentage back to 16th elf, we might be able to provide protection here for you.
Well, okay, let's just back to. You said earlier the easiest thing. What would be perhaps been a bit more difficult?
You angered one of the 9 families.
Well, it angered one of.
One man and one of the 9 families, and then maybe a doctor guy. Funny glasses, funny hat.
Strange,
To be
I
more
did.
precise.
Strange, I did not hear word. How long ago did this
Would be
happen?
About 9, 10 hours, maybe 16 hours ago.
Ah. Tell me exactly what Belichick said to you.
that
It is open season.
and that we won't get protection from anyone in the syndicate, and it's open season on old stacks.
Ah. Open season.
So if it's open season, then your protection could include the area of the old stacks, and we could do it for you, or run it for you, as part of an extension of the watch, where we try not to extort people and keep the place safe.
Actually, on that, I know from a business perspective, that sounds like a failure of a fucking business plan. But hear me out here. Imagine, if you would, a group of do-gooders creating goodwill amongst the community, and thereby loyalty. Now, who would ever suspect these do-gooders of hiding perhaps more illicit things in their hideout? Or perhaps doing, and it would be to no one's surprise if we went neighborhood to neighborhood, eliminating evil threats, perhaps ones that weren't good for your business either.
There are a surprising number of Fae in the old stacks.
There are.
There's at least 5. Maybe 6. That I know of.
The problem is if I say that I'm extending protection, assuming I have such power,
Assuming.
how many feet on the ground do you have? How many wings in the air? How many eyes?
Well, in this case, I think we'll include Kev. Us 3.
This is not encouraging if you're counting on your fingers.
No, Slake's worth at least 5 by himself. So already we're at 8. Do you
It would
drop?
be 10. What would the term you would use in the special?
Don't forget, Mister.
11.
That's a good start. I mean, like I said, Slake's 5.
There's no rats left, and
The old
guards.
stack rats only had a dozen or so soldiers themselves. I'm not surprised that they have fallen.
Oh, we were quick, right?
We still got Kin Killian. Yeah, he converted.
We were able to kill Igor within a few seconds. If that puts things into perspective.
Igor is dead.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
I understand.
That was another reason.
Belichick was really not too pleased. He was like dropping 3 things without a bad time accent. He was just coming through, and we were saying, we should talk. Then you kind of going, grr, and our dwarf was going, grr, and the dwarfs had a grr fight, and then an arrow went through his head, and he died.
Is there a way to make him stop doing that?
No one's going to attack the Sylvan Acres. They would anger the Imperials if they did that, which gives us a distinct advantage. If we were to move, say, several dozen foot soldiers and maybe a dozen eyes, one Fae can be made to look like many. It may keep an all-out gang war from happening over your turf. Are you willing to fight for this ground? If not, the first option of all of you moving here is probably the best one.
We'll fight for the ground.
And then we can apologize by leaving behind those that truly offended the Belichick family to their own devices.
Well, this
Slake, and he names all the names that you said. Apparently he's good at remembering things that you just say.
Jam point being spent.
Whoa.
To say someone in the Fae Syndicate would love Igor's body.
Yeah. Who's the leader of your band, and what are they called?
We are called the Steel Rose Watch, or Steel Rose Gang.
After the factory?
Yep. And we're not quite certain on the leader yet.
He looks at Capra like, you're leading this?
Technically, if anybody asks, it's Kin Killian still. But seeing as he's actually living in a cell,
The way his face changes, he doesn't seem to like Kinkillian.
Oh, he's. I believe you would call it a fall guy, but it didn't really work out, so we just have him in a cell.
I believe the term is Petsy.
Ah, who is leading your band?
I like to think of myself as the leader, though I do take counsel quite closely. They are someone.
Dugganschmirf. Interesting. Will you accept responsibility for your Steel Rose watch or gang?
Oh shit, that's a big one. He's actually looking at Capra and Cog like, fuck, should I do this? Fucking slake. Alright, yeah, sure.
Doesn't matter which one of us would be the leader.
Oh,
good.
no,
Go ahead, Cog, you're the leader.
it matters. And having a Fae be the leader is...
Important.
Yes. You know our ways better than the others do. No offense to you, Cog.
The answer's in Sylvan, none taken.
He smiles. Yes. Let me think on this, but we'll have to act quickly. Before he can say to all the other neighborhoods that it is open season, I will have to declare that the Fae are having a celebration in the
What's
old
that?
stacks.
Celebrations are good.
A celebration that at the heart of it is celebrating the rise of Dugganschmirf.
Oh, I like this celebration much. Great deal.
I have many people to talk to, many things to arrange. Go and have something to eat. Don't get too drunk, he says to Capra.
Yeah, I've seen some humans that make me.
If you excuse me, you can hear a couple of things flutter. Like you get the sense that there may be at least two, maybe three invisible Fae. They're big enough that their wings sound larger than Duggan's, but yeah, they're
Or DD side.
yeah.
Okay.
Good seeing you, Uncle.
Yes. I'm surprised to see you under these circumstances, Capra.
Oh, I am too. Let's be perfectly honest.
Don't worry. Your license for hunting vermin will come in very useful.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep.
In handy indeed. He's thinking.
All sorts of
The
vermin.
damn point expired a week ago.
Oh, the paperwork! Oh, God!
I was fucked when you know. No.
Crap, this guy might be Fae Syndicate.
Nope. Alright, let's go,
Let's go get a bite to eat.
yeah.
Sure.
Now, don't fuck around.
Okay, we'll go and...
Okay. Yeah, you go and you have, you're invited to a meal. It's good Fae food. Cog doesn't eat. Capra, there's nothing wrong with it.
Mm-hmm.
Some nice berry salads and weird gelatin things and somebody roasted up a bunch of crickets, and they're not grigs, they are crickets. And
Check.
chocolate-covered crickets, and there's a bit of a celebration. A man does come down to thank you. A celebratory atmosphere. It's not necessarily like a giant celebration, but this might be the way the Fae communally eat. I have to pull out a token for this guy. Dwaki is bounding along beside this man. He looks like a dragonborn. His eyes and claws are glowing bluish. His scales have kind of like a dull silvery look to them.
Ooh, okay.
Cog, you can tell the movements of a monk when you see one, and you heard that Dwaki is a familiar, so he might also know magic.
When he approaches, I'll do the monk like.
Yep, he pauses for a moment and he also bows. I have not seen that style in some time. Who are you?
This is Cog and Dugganschmirf and Capra.
You know that Delthian Silverclaw and his master live in the castle. They took up residence there long ago, and they have some ancient deal with the Fae that maybe the Fae protect them. You'd have to roll knowledge checks to know more about this relationship.
Knowledge local?
Dugganschmirf, yeah, you've heard things.
14.
You know that they all have something to do with like dragonborn sorcerers or wizards or something that live in the castle.
Okay.
Capra will sort of keep a low stance, like a hunched stance.
Yep.
Being lower than him.
Dwaki has many stories that you went on an adventure together. I told him not to wander far, but he is curious of the world.
Well, always happy to help out a fellow explorer.
It was good fortune that we ran into him the time that we did.
We were wondering if you could help identify the cloak that we found so that we can figure out how to divvy the treasures.
Dwaki's like jumping, like can ya? Yes, I will do this for you.
Our wizard's at home and senile.
What is your wizard's name? He says as he's just unfolding this cloak and getting you to stand back. And
his name is Sonny, but he doesn't know if that's his right name, so he's pretty senile.
Strange fellow, but he's one of our own.
Oh, this is wonderful, Silk. I can tell right away it is elven.
Correct. Mm-hmm. It was from my people.
He looks at you for a moment. He's not certain what to make of that. You are elven.
An elf on the inside.
He says an elf to you. You are elven.
Yes. I was. This is my second life. My first one, I perished in the wars.
I told you. He's wearing armor that's not armor.
That's fascinating. I've never seen your kind before. Elves, yes, but not this.
The way I am. Yes. I'm still finding out who did this to me.
You can take his arm off, and then you can put it back on again. You can take off a different arm and stick it back on the old arm. We haven't checked it to see if we can take a leg off, put it on the arm slot, see if we can get a bunch of legs like a horse.
Are you still affected by positive energy? He says.
Yes, but not as effective.
You are living.
Yes. My consciousness prevails.
It is unfortunate that my master is not here. Zajong Iron Tongue, which... Silver Tongue by some. He would know.
He's also Dragon Man? Dragonborn?
He is... My master.
Real dragon.
He is a wizard of great power.
Yeah, but is he a dragon wizard?
When one reaches a level of enlightenment, the physical form does not matter much.
Yes, one must become one with their flaws and weaknesses so that they
Are
can...
you telling me that if I got in a fight with a fucking dragon, my size isn't a fucking factor? Oh yeah, there's a boxing match I bet on.
Dwaki's playfully like headbutting you.
Ow!
He seems to turn to the tabard when he might be avoiding the conversation about his own master.
Deal.
You see the small leaves that are made with, during the knitting of the edges. Those signs of the northern wooden elves.
What is most important here are the emblems in a circle. This emblem is Corlon, chief of the Sildarine. These emblems, I believe, are gods of the Sildarine. Elvish gods. All of them.
Knowledge religion? I could have seen... What? Knowledge religion, Cog.
Yeah, but what does it do?
13?
Okay. Yes, you recognize Corlon, and you trust him now that you pointed out. That makes sense that these are elvish deities. They are the good and bright and you know, non-evil elvish deities, I guess.
You're correct.
And then you're remembering that this is actually the tabard of a crusader, an elven crusader.
This tablet belonged to one of the elven crusaders.
It could have, yes. It does have a certain quality to it. Let us see what it can do. He drops an owl feather into a bit of wine and swirls it around and drinks it, and he spreads his hands. Magic flows over the tabard. It is a magic tabard. Emblazoned with the symbol of the Sildarine. A crusader from long ago wore this to inspire the elves in a very, very bloody campaign against the humans, early humans. Humans backed by the Imperium and their allies. Humans that killed your kind, and your kind as well. Humans that killed our kind before that.
Humans just kill anything that's not them.
Marty,
Yep.
the history of satyrs. Satyrs are a hybrid between Fey and human.
Yep.
So,
And
how did you make the first one without a human? Or how did that, like, I don't have any knowledge history or whatever, so there's probably some mythical story about how it started, but
yep.
being, like, that whole cycle would probably...
It's also
spawn
elves.
outside.
It's also elves.
Also elves? Okay. Yeah.
It's also other humanoids.
It's humanoid.
Yeah.
Uh,
This tabard can inspire your allies just by wearing it, but there is a deeper power to this relic. Powerful casters can sacrifice some of their spell power to exude a great protective aura over themselves, as well as the ability to heal those that come and just simply grab the edge of the tabard. Healing that they ask for, not that you have to provide. This is a powerful thing. You would have to give much of yourself, or learn the ancient ways of communing as a true believer of the Sildarine.
Does any...
I am certain that you do not have such powers if you have come to a humble wizard such as myself.